Ron, what second straight week Jacoby's come in and made those kind of plays. What's the difference with him coming into the game as opposed to what Sam was showing?
I would say a little bit more about veteran experience. I would say a little bit more of the fact that, he's been through these types of things, and Sam's still learning and growing. And it was, again, it was my decision. I talked to let EB know, and he was fine, and we just went ahead and did it.
Would you start Jacoby next week?
Well, we're going to put everything in and evaluate everything. We'll come into the conclusion very early in the week.
Did you have any conversation with Sam after he came out or after the game at all?
I just chit-chatted with him just a little bit just now, and had an opportunity to talk to him quickly.
And Tavita and Bienemy both kind of indicated last week that they felt like he was pressing a bit. Did you sense that again today?
I did, and it was tough. We didn't help him early. We dropped a couple balls that we probably should have caught, and and then that's tough. Your confidence sometimes can get shaken, and that's what I started to feel in the second half, and I was really concerned, and that's why I made the decision I did.
Early in the game, did you see moments where you felt Sam was growing and developing, and if so, where?
I saw moments I thought he was doing pretty good, and like I said, we all got to make plays, and when we get those opportunities, we got to do those things.
This is a kind of an awkward question, but some fans were rooting against you guys today for draft position. Do you notice that, or what do you make of that?
I don't make of that. I really don't. I'm going to show up, and we're going to work, and we're going to play to win. Everything we do is about winning. It got nothing to do with about losing, okay? If that's what they're thinking, then that's unfortunate.
Ron, with Jacoby, is it just a matter of him being decisive and just going where?
Yes, and that's one of the things that, you don't want Sam to overthink. He's got a lot of pressure. He's been trying to do a lot of things to make things happen, and you can't fault him for that.
Young quarterbacks can go in a million different directions. Yeah. When a guy gets benched twice, he's going to obviously start thinking about things. What do you do to kind of talk to him about that?
We most certainly will talk about those things. We'll talk about just the opportunities he's had and how much he's learned, how much he's grown. He's got to look at this as this is just part of the things, the process to go through it.
The start of the game probably couldn't have gone much worse.
No, it couldn't have been any worse. It really couldn't have been. You're absolutely right. It was about as bad as it could have been.
To go from that to how the game finished, I don't mean the kick, of course, but the way you guys were able to rally. Yep. I guess what does that just say about
the grit? It really does. I love the question. I really do. It's about the grit, the heart that those guys have in that room. They're going to fight for each other. They're going to play for each other. I told you guys last week it's about being a professional, and that's what these young men showed, that they are professionals. They're not going to quit. They're not going to roll over, and they're not going to die. I couldn't be more proud of a group of young men than the guys that came out, especially in the second half, and fought and played and gave it everything they have. They have pride, they have grit. That's probably the best thing you could say about those young men.
And you had a bunch of injuries in game. Yeah. Any sense of those guys and how they're doing?
Not yet. We do know Andrew had a hyperextended elbow. They'll have to examine it, but he was available just in case of emergency. They taped it up, put a sleeve on it to try and secure it. So if we got into a pinch, he would have gone back out for us. I really appreciate that attitude. Chris rolled his ankle. It's probably going to be sore the next couple of days, but we'll be able to evaluate him a little bit more tomorrow. Benjamin had a slight concussion, and I don't want to downplay it because he'll be in the protocol, and he'll have to be examined all week, and we'll see how he does. To that point, it was good to see Emmanuel get out there and play. I thought he had some really good moments. There was one that got a little hairy. But he really stepped up, so that was good to see, and I can't wait to watch the tape on that.
Coach, with along the lines of Chris Rodriguez, he had his first NFL touchdowns today. Anything you can kind of say about his growth and what you've just seen since rookie camp to today?
That's a good word for it, was growth, because he's worked hard. He's done a lot of tough things. He's grown up a little bit, and one of the things that we always talk about is when you see a rookie play on special teams the way Chris has played all year, you just feel that when he gets his chance, he's gonna step up. Well, he got his chance today, and he really did step up in a big way. Last week he had a couple of really good runs, and he put a good game together today. And I know, we get a chance to watch film, we could evaluate a little bit more, but it's one of those things that you feel good about the young man.
JP, last one. There's been a fair amount of losses one-sided. How much harder is it when it goes that way and it's at the last second?
Oh, it's hard as hell. It really is. Trust me, those guys in that room right now are really disappointed just because they fought, scratched, clawed, did everything they could to get to that position. And to have that happen, I mean, it was a hell of a kick. You got to give Zerline tremendous credit. I mean, that ball would have been good if it was on the 50. I mean, he smoked it. So kudos to him. But, you know, for our guys, they wanted it. They really did. They felt it. And unfortunately, it didn't go our way. But they played hard.
And with Sam, does it seem like he's the same guy he was a month ago, 6 weeks ago?
You know, that's a little bit to be evaluated. You know, it's one of the things that you look back at some of the games he had a month ago, and you know, wow, that's good. But, you know, there's been some things lately